Hi everybody, Catfish Jones here in the car, my trusty steed, and if they'll let me, I'm gonna be the next one out of this joint. Gotta be careful. I'm sure the rest of you who leave at the same time as others understand that everybody's trying to leave from the same exit at the same time. So you do have to cascade the egress, if you will. Alright. But it is official. This day, this Thursday, is complete. And I thought, what better to do on a complete Thursday than maybe a little bit of car talk. You guys know I tend to have band practice on Thursday nights. Maybe you know that. I know I talk about it. But it is a fairly regular occurrence. Tonight, however, is not band practice. My wife and I, along with some other friends of ours, intend to go out to the theater. They're performing Brighton Beach Memoirs at the local community theater. And, you know, when I was in high school, I did quite a bit with the community theater, both acting and stage managing and some different stuff. So for me, not having been involved with the community theater for a decade or two, it's kind of cool to get to go back and see. I'm looking forward to seeing if any of the same people are still working there, or if, you know, maybe some of the place looks the same as it did back then. But we'll see. We will see. And it's too bad we're not having band practice tonight, because during the day, a place called us and said, hey, we have an emergency opening, nobody to play this Saturday night. Could you guys cover from 8 to 11? And that's where I get to the topic of tonight's car talk. I think I should call tonight's car talk, Take the Gig. Take the gig. In the band, Mississippi Fuzz has been actually out of town for a week or two. Not a full 2 weeks, but more than a full week. And so he may not be in a state where he's ready to just do an emergency gig. Our bass player, Delta Stank, our friend who plays bass, sorry, it's a little impersonal to say just our bass player, like we own him, like he doesn't have a choice. He's not involved in the writing, which he is. Delta Stank has a family with some young children, and so he might not be as flexible to just up and do a Saturday night gig. Which is totally understandable and totally acceptable. So if they are, either of them, unable to do it, it may end up being a solo Catfish gig, which tickles me to no end. Puts a little stress on me, coming up with 3 hours. But I did play 3 hours in November, doing a little solo show. I haven't done too much intensive practicing since then. But I intend to take the gig. I like being known, or us being known, as emergency fill-ins, or, you know, reliable to the point that if you have an emergency opening, you know we can come in and fill it and provide a quality, entertaining evening. And if I do end up taking the gig, getting to play, it might just be a perfect opportunity to live stream the occasion. I haven't gotten a chance to live stream a normal reaction show, and I think that would be awesome. But with normal reaction, I'm not 100% the decision-making factor. It is quite an amalgam of the three of us, and it may be deemed not the best place to do a live stream on an emergency gig when we haven't practiced a ton. So we'll see. If Catfish Jones plays, you can guarantee it that it will be live streamed. Live strum. Oh. I think, and this is a complete aside, but I think it'd be fun to adopt a new past tense of live stream. You don't want to just say I live streamed. You should say I live strum. Wordsmithing. Just one of the amenities you'll get here on Car Talk with Catfish. Also, I'm on the road at a good time because there's not a lot of other traffic, so I'm able to put the hammer down, get to my destination, and not have to slalom through terrible drivers. So yes, Car Talk with Catfish tonight. I'm talking about taking the gig. If you do some stuff where gigs are involved, I don't know if it's like photography, if you're doing stand-up poetry, if you happen to be a piano guy playing at a piano bar, if you happen to be an actress with potential understudy gig, take the gig. Even if you're not sure if you can meet the requirements, or if you're not sure if you're good enough, I just say take the gig, do your best, and you might be happily surprised. And that surprise, others might be completely satisfied with your work. And next thing you know, you have follow-up gigs. Best advice I was ever given was, no matter what, take the gig. If a gig is offered, unless the excuses or the reasons not to do it are insurmountable, take the gig. Take the gig. Because if you take the gig, that itself can lead to other gigs. It can lead to a reputation for being a savior. It could lead to, maybe somebody owing you a favor for having to come in and save the day, or, for being better than they thought you might be. You never know. And really, the worst that can happen with taking the gig is, maybe a social failure. Maybe you take the gig and you don't do a good job, unfortunately. Miss some lines, or, who knows what. But you get experience, practice, performing live, which is always a different type of practice than practicing alone in your little area. And you also get a chance to show people that even if it's not 100% perfect, I'm willing to go out there and do it and show you what I got and make it better next time. So, my advice to anybody that this advice may apply to is just take the gig. Take the gig. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. I don't think you're gonna excuse me, I don't think you're gonna damage your brand. I don't think you're gonna tarnish your reputation. If anything, you will get kudos for being bold enough to take the gig. You will probably have people who don't even notice that you did poorly, if you even did poorly, and you might come out of it with some confidence in yourself that might not have existed previously. So, today's Car Talk with Catfish, as I pull down my street, get closer to my house, and up into the driveway, and then prepare myself to turn right around and go out to the theater. My advice, my title for this car vlog, this talk vlog, is take the gig. I don't know if I can say it enough. Take the freaking gig. Yes, indeed. Well, that's me. I've landed. This was Car Talk with Catfish. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed doing this vlog, the rest of these vlogs, all of these vlogs I enjoy doing, and I'm glad I could share it with you. So, as I wrap this up, be well to each other. I hope everything's great, and maybe next time I'll think of an ending. Until then, cheers.